The message arrived at the worst possible moment, glowing softly on a screen that had already delivered too much bad news that day. 3 small words, typed with clumsy fingers and a trust the world had not yet broken. I miss you. The CEO froze mid-step in a glass hallway 40 floors above the city, her pulse loud in her ears, her carefully controlled life cracking open in an instant. Something about those words, from an unknown number, carried a weight she could not explain, like a hand reaching out of the dark and finding her heart without asking permission. Before the story pulls you deeper, take a second and do something powerful. If you believe in kindness and second chances, and in the quiet miracles that happen when people show up for one another, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this travel farther than we ever could alone. The CEO had built her life on precision. Every morning began the same way, every decision measured, every risk calculated. She was known for her sharp instincts and colder reputation, the kind of leader people respected but rarely loved. Her office tower stood like a monument to certainty, steel and glass rising above the city, untouched by the messiness below. That morning had already tested her limits with layoffs, boardroom pressure, and the constant reminder that success came with a cost she pretended not to feel. The text should have been easy to dismiss, a wrong number, a mistake, but it lingered, vibrating in her pocket like a heartbeat that did not belong to her. Miles away, in a small apartment above a laundromat, Daniel was trying to hold his world together with tired hands and borrowed strength. He had not planned on becoming a single father, much less to triplets, and certainly not at 29 with a job that barely covered groceries. His wife had passed away suddenly 2 years earlier, leaving him with 3 infants, and a grief so heavy it bent his spine. The world had not slowed down for him. Bills still came, babies still cried, and sleep became a rumor he remembered from another life. He learned to function in fragments, measuring days in feedings and nights in silent prayers whispered over 3 small cribs. The triplets were everything to him. 3 identical faces with different souls, each carrying a piece of their mother's smile. They were bright and curious, already learning the shapes of letters on a cracked tablet Daniel had found at a thrift store. He encouraged their curiosity because it distracted them from the things he could not give, like vacations or new clothes, or the promise that everything would be okay. On that particular afternoon, while Daniel folded laundry and calculated how to stretch a paycheck another week, the children were playing with the phone he used for work. They had learned how to send messages by watching him text reminders to himself. They did not understand consequences, only feelings. They missed him even when he was right there. They missed the version of him who laughed more, who had energy, who did not look so tired all the time. Without asking, without knowing numbers or names, they tapped and typed and sent their message into the world, guided only by instinct. The phone autofilled a contact Daniel did not even remember saving, a number from a corporate helpline he had once called months earlier when a benefits issue went unanswered. The message flew upward through towers and servers and landed in the hands of someone who had not been missed by anyone in a very long time. The CEO stopped walking. Around her, assistants whispered and screens flickered, but she stood still, rooted by a feeling she had buried years ago. She read the message again and again, trying to understand why her throat tightened. She had not been a mother. She had not been anyone's first call or last thought in decades. Her own childhood had been a disciplined blur of expectations, where love was implied but rarely spoken. Missing someone had never been part of her vocabulary. And yet here it was, simple and unguarded, demanding nothing except to be felt. She did something uncharacteristic, she replied. Not with formality or caution, but with curiosity softened by something like hope. She asked who they were, and before she could second-guess herself, sent the message. The reply came quickly, enthusiastic and clumsy, full of spelling mistakes and joy. 3 children, 1 phone, 1 heart reaching out again and again. They told her about their dad being busy, about helping him, about missing him even when he was tired. They sent digital hearts and smiling faces, unaware that on the other end, a woman who ruled boardrooms was sitting on the floor of a quiet office, tears slipping free. Over the following days, messages became a routine. The CEO learned about serial dinners and bedtime stories read by flashlight. Daniel learned eventually that his phone had become a bridge he did not build. When he discovered the conversation, panic hit first, then embarrassment, then fear. He imagined consequences, imagined losing even more than he already had. He apologized profusely, tried to explain, tried to pull back. But the CEO did not retreat. Instead, she listened. She listened to a story she had never known from the inside. One of exhaustion and devotion, of love stretched thin but never broken. What began as accidental became intentional. She checked her phone not for stock updates but for drawings sent as photos, for updates about school projects, for small victories like tying shoes or learning new words. In return, she shared little pieces of herself, careful at first, then braver. She spoke of pressure, of loneliness disguised as success, of the quiet echo in large rooms. Something shifted. The city outside her office looked different when she knew 3 children were waiting for a good night message from her. Change came. Slowly, like dawn. She started asking questions at work that made people uncomfortable. She pushed for programs that supported parents, for flexibility, for humanity in a system that had forgotten it. People noticed, some resisted. But she did not stop. Every policy she challenged carried the weight of 3 small faces and one tired father who had never asked for help. She visited their neighborhood one afternoon under the guise of an inspection, though her heart knew the truth. From across the street, she watched Daniel walk his children home, backpacks bouncing, laughter spilling into the air. It was not a perfect life, but it was real, and it mattered. Daniel never asked for charity. He never hinted at needing more. But one day, opportunity arrived disguised as respect. A new position opened at a partner company, one with benefits and hours that made room for bedtime stories. It was offered quietly, without spectacle, as if it had always been meant for him. When he accepted, he cried alone in his car, overwhelmed by gratitude he did not know how to express. The triplets celebrated with homemade drawings sent straight to the woman who had become, somehow, part of their world. As months passed, the lines between stranger and family blurred. The CEO attended a school play, sitting in the back, heart pounding as the triplets scanned the crowd and waved when they spotted her. She felt something bloom in her chest that no promotion had ever given her. Daniel watched her clap and smile, and for the first time since his wife's passing felt less alone in the world, not because someone had saved him, but because someone had seen him. Near the end of this story, pause for a moment. If what you've heard so far is stirring something inside you, if it reminds you that small acts can ripple into lives we may never fully understand, please like this video, share it, and subscribe. Stories like this survive because hearts are willing to listen. The final turning point did not come with fanfare. It came on an ordinary evening when the triplets, curled up beside their father, sent one last message before bed. They said they were happy. They said thank you. They said they loved him. And tucked in among those words was the same simple phrase that had started it all, sent now with intention and understanding. It reached the CEO as she stood by her window, city lights blinking like distant stars. She pressed the phone to her chest and let herself feel it fully. The ache and the warmth, the knowledge that she belonged somewhere outside the walls she had built. Before we reach the very end, there's one special request. Please comment below with a word or phrase that captures how this story made you feel. Your words matter more than you know. The story did not end with adoption papers or grand declarations. It ended with presence, with visits and holidays and shared silence that felt full instead of empty. It ended with a single father who learned that accepting help did not make him weak, and a powerful woman who discovered that love did not dilute strength, it deepened it. And it ended with 3 children who learned early on that kindness could come from unexpected places, and that sometimes, when you say "I miss you" into the dark, the world answers back.